सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. See, in the 11th sloka, some people wanted to know. I read Apadhya and it was written Asadhya. So both readings are okay. Asadhya means having accomplished, Apadhya having gained. So both meanings are okay. So both readings are okay. So we were just seeing the shloka where the Kshirabdi Matanam is taking place, and the some is it the fan naliya தள்ளி வச்சிருங்க. என்ன விட்டுடுங்க, வேண்டாம். வேண்டாம். So when the fumes of the Halahala Visha started coming out, then the Devas and Asuras were frightened, thinking that Pralaya is coming at the wrong time. So it looks like the whole world is going to be destroyed. So having kripa for them, so the one who took up that bishop, and then it caused a blemish in the neck, and that actually, instead of disfiguring the person, so it actually causes a shri, it causes some beauty to that person. Then he made a general conclusion that vikaropi shlagyaha. So even what looks like a disfigurement, so it actually it is something to be, it is praiseworthy with reference to a person who is involved in causing bhanga, the removal of the fear of the world. Okay. Here, just a few points I would like to add. There are two beautiful shlokas in the Shivananda Lagari in this context. Okay. So I just thought we can have a look at it. So Shankara's imagination with reference to this. So he says, Nalam va paramopakarakam idam tu ekam pashunam pate pashyan kukshigatan charachara ganan bahyastitan rakshitum sarvamatya palayanaushadham ati jwalakaram bhikaram nikshiptam karalam gale na galitam na udgirnameva tvaya. Beautifully he says here. So, hey Pashupate, isn't this one beneficial act of yours enough to show your compassion? So that poison which was emitting fumes, koncha korengla eno ekko varudhu, which was emitting fumes, frightening and making the devas run. So sarva amartya palayana, so it was causing running of all the devas. And that ati jwalakaram bhikaram, so emitting so many fumes and bhikaram, very frightening. So what did Shiva do? He just took that poison and then placed it in the throat. So he did not swallow it. He did not spit it out. So he did not swallow it, of course, story is different. Sometimes, these changes are there that Parvati just, caught hold of the neck so that it won't go down. But whatever it is, so it was, na galitam, it was not swallowed. Why? Because, so, kukshigatan charachara ganan rakshitu. So, there are so many creatures, so many jivarasis inside his stomach. If it goes into the stomach, then it will cause death of all those people. Supposing he spits it out, all the jivarasis in the outside world will get killed. So he kept it in safely in this place so that it doesn't affect the people who are outside, it doesn't affect the people inside. See, this is one imagination that is sort of given, imagery, I would say, not imagination, imagery given. See, if you look at the shloka, one of the dhyana shlokas for Vishnu Sahasranama. So you find, I will be quoting that shloka again in a different context also. So you take Bhuf Pado Yasya Rabir Vyad Asula Anilas Chandra Suryo Chanetre Karna Vasha Shiro Dyaur Mukamapi Dahano Yasya Vasteyam Abdi Antastam Yasya Vishwam Tribhuvana Suranara Kaga Go Boga Gandharva Daityaihi. So Antastam in his Virat Swarupa, the whole entire Vishwam is within. And also Sura, Nara, Kaga, Go, Bhogi, everybody, all the different jivarasis are there inside. So Vishwarupa, figure, a form is given for doing dhyanam. So if the Lord is all pervasive, the entire Jagat is within him, and in that way all the creatures are within him. Okay. So that thing also is given here. You can sort of compare these two shlokas. Then he asks in the next question, okay, Jwalograha Sakala Amarati Bayadaha Kshvelaha Katamva Tvaya Drishtaha Kincha Karadhritaha Karatale Kim Pakpa Jambu Palam. See, this sort of thing, that is this dark poison which is emitting all these things and giving fear both to Devas and their enemies, the Asuras. How did you look at it? And how did you keep it in your hand? Because before swallowing, you should keep it in the hand, So did you think it was a ripe jambu fruit? Nagapalam, we say. So did you consider that it was a jambu pala? Did you keep it? I don't know what you call it in English. Jambu pala. It's not blueberry. Blueberry is a different thing. It is bigger than a blueberry. It is actually. Okay. So anyway, it's a blue color. And then he put it in his tongue. Jihvayam nihitascha. Did you think that it is an Ayurvedic Siddha Gutika? So did you put it in your tongue thinking it is a tablet given by the Siddha Vaidya? Or did you put it in your kanta thinking it is a sapphire to beautify your neck? So please tell me. Yes, this is the poetic beauty of Shankara's devotion. Okay. Those who are interested, if you want to go and refer 31 and 32 of Shivananda Lahari. Okay. That is, it was as playful for him to swallow this poison. That is the idea. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. Asiddhartha naiva Kvachidapi sadeva suranare Nivartante nityam Jagati jaino yasya vishika Sapashyan nishatvam Itara sura sadharanamabhut Smara sarasvattavyatma nahi vashishu patyah paribhavah. This shloka again is based on the Purana story. So there was an asura called Taraka, and he did great tapas invoking Lord Shiva, and he got a boon from him. Okay. Now for those who are not so much used to these things, see, I think I told earlier also, I'm not sure, that if anybody does prayer and penance, tapas enough, the Lord has to give perforce the phala for that karma, no matter what it is, because if they have invoked the Lord and they have done enough prayers, enough tapas, then they have to be given that phala. Only thing, I think I told this, so only thing is that they will try to see that they put a condition so that it won't harm others. And they will say give a condition, and these people give a condition which they think is something that nobody can question, there is no loophole. But Bhagavan will always find a loophole. And then, so if they are going to use the bone that they have got for causing harm to others, there is always a loophole that will be found. Okay. Now this Taraka also asked for a boon. First you want, I should not get killed, I should not have death. That cannot be given because anybody who is born should die. So he has to add a special clause. So the Taraka asked for a vara that he should not be killed by anyone except Shiva's son. And Shiva had no son at that time and was most of the time immersed in dhyana. He was all the time. So he thought, when is Shiva going to get a son? When am I going to get killed? So they have postponed death. And then, so he thought, I am invincible. And again, he became haughty and terrorized all the worlds. So Devas, etc., especially, were always tortured, and then a lot of problem was given. So meanwhile, Parvati, who is a reincarnation of Sati, so she was doing tapas to get Shiva as her husband. Okay. So in the Daksha Yajna, that also we'll be seeing a little later. So in a big yaga that was performed by Daksha, her Sati's father, so father had not invited Shiva, and and also he insulted Sati for having come. Therefore, Sati said, if you have insulted me and my husband, therefore this body that you have given me, I cannot have this body that has been insulted by you anymore. By yoga, she gave up her body. Gave up her life. Okay. So that is one thing. Now she is reborn as Parvati. So, and she was again, with all her previous things, she was doing penance to get Shiva as the husband. Now Parvati is there sitting in tapas, he is sitting in dhyanam, and they have to yet get married, and then they have to get a son. And then only Tarakasura will have his end. So Devas were wondering, when is this going to happen? When will Shiva's dhyanam end? When will he marry Parvati? When will he get a son? How long are we to endure this Taraka's atrocities? Then they hit on a plan. So Indra could not stand any, this being insulted by the asuras, etc. So he was, wanting to get back his throne somehow back into the Swargaloka. So Indra and other devatas, they went to Manmatha. So Manmatha is the god of love, and they are requested Manmatha to shoot his arrow of love at Shiva and awaken passion in Shiva. Manmatha initially was afraid of Shiva. He said, if I go and try to wake up Shiva, he will curse me and I will have a problem. But then the way the Devas went on praising Manmatha, who will do the job other than you, etc., then that also got into Manmatha's head. Therefore he got emboldened and he thought, okay, I can also make Lord Shiva subject to passion. So when Manmatha shot his arrow, Shiva opened his third eye and reduced him to ashes. This is the story behind this shloka. So, He Isha. So somewhere, wait 1 second. So, O Lord, pardon? No, okay, Pashyanisha, right. Just okay. So, O Lord, so it signifies here addressing him Shiva, you are the one who has got mastery, control over the world and yourself. So he is Isha. And Yasya Vishikaha, the arrows, whose arrows? That is Manmatha's arrows. These arrows that so Manmatha, as I said, is also called as Kamadeva, is the one who is supposed to arouse passion, desire, and therefore called Kamadeva. So his arrows, Naiva Kvachidapi Asiddhartaha Nivartante. If Manmatha was to shoot his arrow at anybody, that arrow always hits the target against its purpose, so it never fails to do it. So it is always Siddhartha. The double negative is there. Naiva Asiddhartha means it never goes waste without accomplishing. Therefore, it always accomplishes. It never fails to accomplish what for it was sent. Okay, it never returns. Na nivartante. It doesn't return back without having hit the target for what purpose it was shown. And Saha, sorry, Sadevasura Nare Jagati. So in all the three worlds, so in this whole universe where Devas are there, Asuras are there, human beings are there, whoever it be, well, let it be Devas, if he shoots the arrow at any Deva, it doesn't fail to arouse passion. If he shoots it at any Asura, it doesn't fail. If it is shot at any human being, it doesn't fail. So, Sadevasura Nare Jagati. So, Saha Bahuvrihi it is. So, Ataha therefore, Nityam Jainaha. They are always victorious. So, this Manmatha is called by many names depending upon the various functions that he does. He is called Manmatha, Manaha, Matnati. He churns the mind with passion and desire. Therefore, he is called Manmatha. He is called Kamadeva because there is a lot of desire. Kandarpa, Kamna Darpayati, whose heart doesn't he inflame or incite, and therefore he is called Kandarpa. He is called Panchabanaha. He has got 5 arrows. Okay, one Pushpa Banaha. Those arrows are made of flowers. So these 5 arrows are all made of flowers with intoxicating smell. So lotus flowers, Ashoka flowers, Chutam mango flowers, and then Navamallika jasmine flowers, then Nilotpala, the blue lily, etc. All of them are all they are strung in his arrows, and they cause sammohanam, infatuation, unmadanam, maddening, and then drying, and burning. So then makes them as though because of love get paralyzed, that as if they can't carry out any other job. Like that, it immobilizes the person. Such a fame that he has got. And that Saha, that Manmatha, Saha Smaraha. Okay. So another name for Manmatha is Smaraha. I'll come back to that. What is the meaning? Tvam itara sura sadharanam pashyan. So that Manmatha, he saw you as like any other Deva. He didn't think you are somebody great. So all the Devas are happily, they are all the targets of my arrows. So Shiva also can be a target of my arrow. So in this, as all Devas are susceptible, Shiva also will be susceptible in that way, considering yourself sadharana equal to other Devas. So he tried his tactics. He shot his arrows at you. But what happened? Instead of being susceptible to his arrows, you opened your third eye and reduced him to ashes. Then what happened? He is called Smaraha. Okay. Manmata is called Smara because he makes you constantly remember the object of your desire. He doesn't allow you to forget your object of desire, therefore he is called Smaraha. This person became Smartavyatma Abhut. So Smartavyatma means Smartavyaha Atma. So Atma here refers to the body, form. So he became one whose form, had to be remembered. But the meaning is, if it is something right in front of you and you can see it, you don't have to remember it, you just see it. If something is an object that you have seen earlier but it is not available right in front of you, then it has to be remembered. Therefore, this Manmata's body now became something that had to be remembered because now the body is gone. It has been reduced to ashes. So she plays on the words, says, Smaraha Smartavyatma Abhut. So he became one whose form had to be remembered because it was not available for perception right in front. Okay. So that is why sometimes, the Manmata, after being reduced to ashes, is called Ananga. So because he lost his body. Okay. So now what is at the end of every Leela of Shiva, Pushpadanta makes a general statement. So what is the general statement he is making here? He vashishu paribhavaha na patyaha. Because why did Manmata become a Smartavyatma? Because any insult, paribhavaha, any insult with reference to those tapasvis who have their mind and indriyas under their total control, for them, if you go and insult such a person, that is na patyaha. It is never good for you. It always causes. So going and challenging or trying to harm people who have got intense tapas and intense control over their mind and sense organs actually is not good for one. Na patyaha. It is not good for anyone. Okay. Now the next one is also based on a story, but without a story also you can give the meaning of that. So one of the commentators, so the story I have not seen elsewhere. So there was once a Rakshasa who did tapas, who prayed to Brahmaji. He asked for a boon that he should have the power to destroy the world. And so Brahmaji said, I'll grant you this boon a little later. So when Brahmaji says little later, see, this we should understand. See, Brahmaji is one moment, for us so many years would have gone. Okay. So he said he'll grant it later. But still the question is that Devas came to know that such a vara Brahmaji has promised, though not given, it has been promised. Okay. And so Brahmaji said, I'll grant it a little later. And Devas coming to know of this vara and wondered if when the boon will be granted when the boon will be granted and then it will cause problems. So they went to Shiva and told him what all happened. So Shiva then started dancing. In order to protect the world, he started dancing. But the dance was so fierce that it made everybody wonder if the destruction that this Rakshasa asked has already been set in motion. So that is what is described in this particular shloka. Mahipadaghatat vrajati sahasasham shayapadam padam vishnor brahmyat Bhuja Parigharugna Grahaganam Muhurdhyaur Dhaustyam Yati Anibhrita Jatata Tata Jagat Rakshayai Tvam Natasi Nanuvamaiva Vibhuta. So, Jagat Rakshayai Tvam Natasi. So, the last line you have got Jagat Rakshayai Tvam Natasi. You are dancing for the sake of protecting this world. But while dancing, now he has taken a huge form like a Vishwarupa. And therefore what happens is, Tava Pada Aghatat Mahi Sahasa Samshaya Padam Vrajati. So because he has taken such a big form, and dancing means you are dancing and then the feet will go up and then come and land with a thud on the ground. Therefore you are strongly striking, Pada Aghatat Mahi. So you are strongly striking the earth with your feet because of all the vibrations that are all caused. Okay. Then the earth immediately comes to doubt, okay, if right now there is a pralaya, or is it due to Shiva's dance, or is it due to the pralaya samaya having come. So Mahi Sahasa Samshaya Padam Vrajati. So it gets this doubt immediately. Then Vishnoho Padam. So Vishnoho Padam here doesn't refer to moksha, etc. Here it refers to the in-between space between the heavens and the earth. So the antariksha space in between. And Brahmyat Parigha Rugna Grahaganam. So that Vishnoho Padam, that is Akasham, the space between the earth and the heavens. So now here he gives a simile here. What happens is, this his arms are like, the big iron clubs. In Tamil we say ulakkai. So big one. So his strong hands like this, are heavy, like heavy iron clubs or pestles. And he is just swinging his arms like that in dance. And then what is happening is, they are hitting the various planets and comets. So because he is standing with a Vishwarupa, and then he is done. So, Brahmyat Pariga Rugna Grahaganam Akasham Abhut. So the in-between space with all the Grahagana, with all the groups of comets and planets, actually it was Rugna. Rugna means it was affected, it was hit, okay, by the Parigha, by the arms, which are like, arms are to be understood, which are like the big iron clubs and which are moving, Brahmyat. Okay. So the space got a doubt as Pralaya come. Then Anibhrita Jata Tadita Tata Sati Dhyauhu. So now, if the in-between space, his hands are all moving like that, then he said is there in the heavens. And Dhyauhu, therefore the Dhyauhu, so Anibhrita Jata Tadita Tata. So generally, even if a person has, what shall I say, twisted the hair and put it in some sort of a bun or something tight, but if the person is, that is not very tight, then when a person dances, the hair becomes loose. And therefore, all this jata was also, flowing in all directions. So, Anibhrita means untied. Untied jata, so the locks of hair of the jata, so by that Tadita Tata Jauhu. So by the untied locks of hair, the heavens were being struck again and again on the sides. And therefore, muhuhu daustyam yati. Daustyam is dustitim yati. Okay, dusta, then daustyam is the abstract noun. So again and again gets into a miserable weak state because the heavy locks are hitting the heavens. Nanu tava vibhuta vama eva. So you started your dance, Jagat Rakshayai Natasi. You started your dance for the sake of protecting the world. But now with this huge form when you are dancing, it looks like the opposite. So Vama, Viparita Phalam is being, Pratikula Viparita Phalam is being gained. So Nanu Tava Vibhuta Vama Eva. So your dance is causing just the opposite phala, causing fear in all the worlds. Whereas when the Devas went to you, they wanted to be free of fear of pralaya. But now you are causing fear in all the three worlds as if pralaya has already come. So whether that story is that Rakshasa are doing, etc., because I have not seen that particular story anywhere else. Okay. So this is just describing Shiva is the Vishwarupa dancing. That means the feet are on the ground and his arms, shoulders are in the space, and then he is there, his head is going into the heavens. Viyadvyapitara Ganagunitapenodgamaruchihi Pravaho varam yaha Prishata lagu dushta shirasite Jagadvipakaram Jaladivalayam tena kritamiti Anenaivonneyam Dhritamahima divyam tava vapuhu. Yaha varam pravaha. Pravaha, that flow, current of varam, water. So that flow of water, Vyadvyapi, which pervades the entire Akasha with the name Mandakini. It is to be understood. That is that Ganga we are talking about right now. So that Ganga, when it is there in the Swargadi Lokas, there pervading that place, it is called Mandakini. And then what happens there, when it is flowing, all the foam in that is actually, so it is two ways you can take it. The foam looks like the Tara Ghana, like the what shall I say, clusters of stars. Or you can take it like that foam is reflecting each star. So Tara Gana Gunita Pena Udgama Ruchihi. So that foam is getting, so the foam of that Ganga is getting a ruchi, a shobha, a splendor by the foam, the rising of the foam, which actually by reflecting the clusters of stars is gunita, enriched. Okay. So if the foam in that water, each one should reflect a star, the one graha, nakshatra, how big should the pravaha be? Okay. Then saha pravaha te shirasi prishata lagu drishtaha. So when that pravaha from Akasha has come down to your head, to your Jatamuki, yeah, to the Jatamakuta, then in your Shirasi, in that head, it looks, Drishtaha, it is seen as even Prishata Lagu. It is seen even smaller than a drop of water. So many of you might have seen this picture drawn by Ravi Verma. Shiva will be standing like that, and then that, so such a big form will be there, and then the Ganga is falling on his head. So now, if this Ganga, with the foam, which can reflect, each bubble can reflect one star, then which is such a big pravaha, when it has come to your head, it appears smaller than a droplet of water. Then how big should your form be? Okay. So, Tena Jagat Jaladi Valayam Dvipakaram Kritam. So now when he released that water that came to his Jatamu, then that water which was released from his now flows down into the earth, and then it flows right round, and it has gone even to the Samudra, and it has divided this entire earth into 7 continents. Each of them as though they have become an island surrounded by the Samudra. So Saptadvipa Medini, we have got this thing, that it has at the time that they describe, it was actually like 7 islands surrounded by ocean. So Ganga flowing from the heaven for such distances is so big that its foam reflects clusters of sun. And when it reaches your head, it looks smaller than a droplet of water. And when it flows down to the earth, then it makes so much of water is flowing right round. It is surrounding each continent and making a valaya. So Jaladi Valaya, making a ring of the ocean, and Dvipakaram Krita. So it has made this thing into Dvipa. Dvipa means island. Okay. Then Iti Aneneva. So by this reason alone, Tava Vapuhu Dhrita Mahima Unneyam. So from this it should be Unneyam, it should be inferred that your Sharira is very vast, Mahat. So it is Dhrita Mahima Tava Vapuhu. Your body should be so huge, your form should be so huge that this has to be inferred. So the waters that can make this earth into 7 islands, okay, that means so much of water is flowing. That so much of water again in the heavens. But when it comes to your head, it has become smaller than a drop of water. Then how big should your form, Vishwarupa, be? So, so this is the imagination here. He says Unneyam means it is to be inferred. There is a beautiful shloka. Sometimes it is chanted along with 2 dhyana shlokas of the Rudra. Apatala nabastalanta bhuvana brahmandama vispurate. There are 2 shlokas there. Along with that, this is the 3rd shloka has been chanted. Perhaps Swami Paramatmananda ji, when he learned the Veda, perhaps in that Palghat and that side, this shloka has been chanted, etc. I got this shloka from him actually. But in the usual Matra Pushpa books, this shloka is not there. Pitam yasya dharitri jaladhara kalasham lingam akasha murtim nakshatram pushpamalyam grahagana kusumam chandra vanyarka netram kukshihi sapta samudram himagiri shayanam sapta patala padam vedavaktram shadangam dashadishi vadanam divyalingam namami. Very beautiful shloka. It says, I I do namaskara to that divine form of Shiva. And that for that Shiva, that form that is there, so Pitam Yasya Dharitri. So generally the pelvic region, the buttocks, that is called Pitam, because you sit on that, you sit on your haunches. So that is called Pitam. And for this Shiva, so the Bhumi is the Pitam. So this is a Vishwarupa imagination. And Jaladhara Kalasham Lingam Akasha Murti. So for the whole space is this form, for which generally above Shiva's linga they will have one pot of water with the water slowly dripping. So all the clouds, rain-bearing clouds, are all the kalasham. So from which the water flows on the head. And what is the mala that he is wearing? Nakshatram Pushpamalyam. So he is wearing a bead, a mala of a garland of all stars, and strung with Graha Gana Kusumam. So with the flowers of all the planets and the comets, etc. And Chandra Vanyarka Netram, the one who has got 3 eyes. So moon is one eye, sun is one eye, and the fire is another eye. So now here you have to imagine the size of the sun, and if the sun is if the sun is the eye is of the size of the sun, and from that the whole thing you have to imagine. And then Kukshihi Sapta Samudram, all the 7 seas that are talked about in the Puranas, etc., all are there within his abdomen. Himagiri Shayanam. So that is the Himalayas is his bed. Sapta Patala Padam, all the 7 down. This Patalas below, this Padam goes right, Sapta right up to the Patalam, that is where his feet are. And he has got Veda Vaktram Shadangam Dashadishi Vadanam. He has got faces in 8 directions, plus above and plus below, 10 directions. 8 you have got northwest, southeast, and then the in-between directions. So the 4 Vedas and the 6 Angas, they are the facing the 10 directions. Such a divine lingam, I do namaskar. Now please understand, these are all some imagery that is given to understand how huge, if the Lord, the entire universe is there in him. So it gives us some sort of an idea of how huge the whole thing. Now in between you should not be, there may be something, if you seriously go into this, then what happened, then which is his chest, and where is this, etc. Now you cannot be asking. The whole idea is to show that as Vishwarupa, that is the entire universe is his form. That's all that matters. But the imagery was very good. So the next 18th shloka is going to be based on Tripura Dahana. So we have been seeing Puramatana, Purari, Tripura, so many things he has been addressing, but the story has not been touched upon. Okay. Now, understand anyway, after this, some portion of the story, now we have to remember from the Puranas. So anyway, after burning Manmata also, finally Parvati and Shiva got married, and also from Shiva's eye, so 6 sparks of Agni came, and then they became Lord Kartikeya. Okay. So Lord Kartikeya had already killed Taraka. Okay. Now this Taraka had 3 sons. They were called Kamalaksha, Tarakaksha, and Vidyunmali. Okay. So they also, again, what they did is, our father has been killed anyway, so we should get tapas, and then we should get a boon from Brahmaji, so that again we become again invincible. So after intense tapas, so they got a boon from Brahmaji. So each one will have a city. Okay. And this city is a flying city. So this flying city, three puras, pura means city. So these three cities will be all the time flying about. Okay. So one was made of gold, one was made of silver, and one was made of iron. So each of the brothers occupied one thing, and this city was built by Maya, an Asura architect. Okay. So now they got a boon that if all the three cities came in one line, they aligned in one line, at that one moment only they can be killed. Okay, so then that moment is gone, again it will go out of alignment. So it can happen once in so many years. So all the time these cities were flying about here. Okay. So it is said that one more son of the Taraka also did a tapas, that he got a big tank built by Maya, and that will be filled with Amrita. And any Asura dead or hurt, if he is dipped in that tank, he will come out stronger and healthier than before. So you don't need any more problem. Okay. So with all these powers now they got, so they started doing a lot of mischief. And already they are angry with the Devas because every Asura seems to be getting killed ultimately by the Devas. Okay. So once they started doing a lot of mischief and then taunting the Devas, etc., then as usual Devas ran to Brahmaji. Then Brahma took them to Shiva. Then Shiva promised to destroy them. So the next time they come into alignment, I will destroy them. So, and all the Devas said, okay, when you are going to destroy these three cities, so you would need some power, extra power. Therefore, all the Devas said, we will give you half our power. So half our power will go and join Shiva. So now these cities, any city that was brought down, then it crushed, wherever it landed, it crushed the people and the Jivarasis there, so it was causing a lot of problem. So now with this background, we will read this. Ratah kshoniyanta Shatadritiraghendro dhanurato Ratange chandrarkau Ratacharana pani sharayiti Didhakshoste koyam Tripura trinamadam baravidhi Videyeh kridantyo Nakalu paratantra prabudhiyah. So, Tripura Trinam, the third line. Okay. Tripura Trinam Didakshoho, okay, Te, for you who was wanting to burn these three puras. and that is Tripura Trinam. Trinam means which was like a dry grass. So Didakshoho. So for you who wanted to burn this Tripura, which is like dry grass, for only like dry grass for you. That is how easy it is to burn dry grass. Now, after this we will see another story, then we will understand what is this. Then, Kshoni Rataha. Kshoni means now, so because now he wants to destroy these three puras. So for that he should be equipped with everything. He needs a chariot to go and attack. Then he needs he needs a bow, he needs arrows, and then he needs horses for the chariot, and he needs a charioteer to drive the chariot. So what all were the various things for him? So Kshoni Rataha. So the earth became the very earth, the whole earth became the chariot. And Shatadritihi Yanta. So Brahmaji is called Shatadritihi because if he so he gets the Brahma Padavi by having done so many yagas here. So he became the driver. Okay. Then Agendraha Dhanuhu. So Agha means that which doesn't move. So Agha, mountain is called Agha in this play. So Agendra means the what shall I say, the king of the mountains. That is Meru, mountain. Meru mountain is called here, as Agendra. And that became his bow. Okay. Then the wheels of the chariot. What were the wheels of the chariot? Chandrarkau Rathange. So sun and moon became the wheels of the chariot. Okay. And Rathacharana Panihi. So Vishnu, instead of saying Chakrapanihi, it is said here Rathacharana Panihi. So Rathacharana refers to the chariot moves on what? So moving of the chariot is done by the wheels. Therefore a wheel is called Rathacharana. And the one who carries the wheel in his hand is called Rathacharana Panihi. Who is that? Vishnu. Because he has got a chakra in his hand. And so the Vishnu became the arrow. Okay. Some more descriptions, not in this shloka, we will see a little later. And then now elsewhere there is a shloka in the so in the Shivananda Lakshmi, etc., it is there. So the Tunira means the sheath in which the arrows are kept. Okay. So Jaladi became the holder, the ocean became the holder of the arrows. And Shrutayaha, the Vedas became Hayaha. So it is not; these are not here in this shloka. So the Vedas themselves became the horses. And Bhujangadipatihi, so the Adishesha became the string of the bow. So you need a string of the bow. Okay. And Agni sat at the tip of the arrow, and Vayu, wind, the Vayudeva was at the base of the arrow to propel the arrow. Okay, this sort of a thing, everything. So all the devas are supposed to be assisting him. That is why each person took up their respective places. Okay, like this. Iti kaha ayam adambara vidhi. What is all this? The showy paraphernalia for. So do you really need all these things? So do you need all these devas coming and occupying the different places, one being a chariot, one being the bow, one being the bowstring, and one being the arrow, and tip of the arrow, and the bow, and the base of the arrow, all these things. Do you need the help of all these devas? So this adambara means all this show that is there. Do you really need all this? Okay. Videyaihi kridantyah prabudhiya nakalu paratantraha. So those people, videya here means those people who hold everything under their control, and for so prabudhiya, so they have got that is those people who have everything under their control, that Prabhu, and so which play or so that means they have got everything under their control. So when that is so, anayasena kartum kshamaha, they can do anything by effortlessly by themselves. Na kalu paratantra, they are not dependent upon others. Okay, so they just play about, we effortlessly achieve what they have to achieve. They are not dependent on anybody. So by the time all these people assembled together and then got ready, okay, now we are all ready to assist you, Lord Shiva. He had just glanced and the three puras had gone already. So he doesn't need, by his mere glance he can do it. So that he sort of agreed that all of you all right, come and help. Okay, so when he really did not need the help, as though to pat their back, he said, fine, okay, all of you come and help. But by the time they assembled and came to help him, he had already, by a mere glance, he had shot that arrow. So we'll stop here. We'll see the next shloka tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.